Welcome to another edition of The Naked Truth. My name is John Singletary.
And I'm Ramon Rowan.
And today we are talking about North Charleston's Sterett Hall. If you can remember during the election campaign, there was a push to tear Sterett Hall down. There was an uproar from the community. Several of the locals were boisterous in terms of saying we want to make sure that we have somewhere for our students and our people to go to still have some type of physical fitness. And Sterett Hall was it for the African American community. So during the campaign, it was postponed. There was a team of individuals from the city, along with the mayor and a few of our civil rights advocates, should I say, that went to the facility in Chapin, South Carolina, to look at it, came back and said, you know, this is what we're going to build. We're going to build this for you in replace of Sterett Hall. Well, immediately after the race, Sterett Hall has been demolished. If you go to my Facebook page, you'll see it's just as clean as this desk. Nothing there. Grass has grown on the level field where Sterett Hall was. Nothing there, no intentions of putting anything there. If we take a look at what the city has given us in terms of telling us, some type of time frame. And yet, continually, we believe that this administration is going to do something for us. It's just a slap in the face for Sterett Hall to be torn down and nothing to be put there in its place. Something should have been built prior to it being torn down so that our quality of life would not have been interrupted as it is now.
Just a little bit of history on Sterett Hall. Sterett Hall was a part of the Naval base. I was in the Navy, and that's where the gym that I would frequent, play ball and go lift weights. And so it was actually it was on the Naval base. But when the Naval base shut down, and the Navy Yard shut down, they opened it up to the city. So the Sterett Hall wasn't built for the city of North Charleston to use. It was actually for the veterans and those who have access to the base. John is right. What they should have done, they should have at least had started construction on a new facility. But what they did, they tore down that facility, and now because in the Sterett Hall area, that's predominantly a black area. So these young kids, they don't have a gym to go to. These elderly don't have a gym to where they can walk around, they can do their exercise. They don't have that. What he should have done, which the mayor does not, we said this during the campaign, Mayor Summey does not and never have had in his idea of having our best interest.
Hall is used for many things. Absolutely right. Still upstairs, I've gone to for events after graduations that families have had, because it had an event hall that was
an auditorium.
Absolutely right. Down on the bottom level in the gym, they've had guest speakers to come. There was a weight room in there. There was a lot of things there.
Full court basketball.
Absolutely right. In Sterett Hall that serviced our community.
And let me say this. I don't mean to cut you off, John, but
no, go ahead.
It was old. I mean, it was old. Even the weights, the weight room, old. Everything was old. So it wasn't like it really cost
the state of the art.
Right. It wasn't like it cost the state any money, the city any money to obtain it, because it left in the footprint. They received the Navy Yard. So to remove it to remove it and to allow just to
It
allow
was the retribution he was talking about. When he said that there would be retribution, one of the first significant signs of that was that we will tear down Sterett Hall and leave you with nothing, because a significant amount of you came out against me. And so that's the retribution that he was talking about. A part of it, at least from our standpoint, because our community was left void of those services that were there before.
Right.
And those are the kinds of issues that not only lead to the void of the Sterett Hall, but now you've got young students, over 10,000 in this area, North Charleston. What do they do? What do they do in terms of having some type of wholesome activity to keep them out the streets, not get in trouble, and end up back at Leeds Avenue where 73% of the jail happens to be African American?
And John, also is that the timing of it. Why not wait till when the school year started? When the school year started, okay, they're in school, let's go ahead and tear it down then.
You have to spank the child close enough to the action so that they draw a correlation. So he had to spank the African American community.
Well, that's what he did.
Right after the election, so that the retribution would be felt closest to the voting process as possible.
Exactly.
You can't wait 2 years after you build something else to do that if you're trying to teach them a lesson.
Yeah, I agree. I got you.
So those are the kinds of things that our leadership should be looking at long term when they say that they're standing up for our community.
Well, the other thing that we need to quantify when we say leadership is primarily, unfortunately, our pastors that we call leadership. But we need more leaders than that. We need leaders in the political arena that's going to speak up against the mayor. And John, I know you may not feel the same way I feel, but I don't have that much confidence in our black leadership, either civil or political, in this area.
Well,
now you may.
What I think is that I think that there's a new direction, a new movement. The people elect the leaders, and I think that they are seeing that there is a need for new leadership that will stand up for the people, who will unapologetically say that we deserve parity, we deserve our fair share, and we're not willing. Right now, just to be blatant, some of our leaders are selling us out, getting paid under the table with economic benefit, and as a result, our people are suffering. Anytime you can have the African American community outvote all other races combined, but yet not walk away with the position that will do the most for their community, there is a reason. There's disjointment, there's lack of unity, and some of that lack of unity is because our leadership are selling us out, and as a result, what they're doing is they are taking payment to keep us from getting together, to make sure there's dissension in our community. And that alone put us in the position, one of the statements that I made in the Chronicle when we first started the race was that our religious leaders had the opportunity to change not just the face, but the internal workings of North Charleston at the beginning of that race. That was true then. It holds true now. In the future, it probably won't be the truth, because quickly people are taking on another direction, and which is a good thing, because the power should be with the people, but not with a group of people who are subject to sell us out. Right.
I think that we need to have more leadership that are truth seekers.
Sure.
I mean, when we told the truth about what Mayor Summey's been doing, actually, some of those people that went to Mayor Summey, they end up getting more money or getting money.
Sure.
You look at the and the thing about it is that they're not when we say sell us out, they're not selling us out for a lot of money. They're selling out for maybe a few $1,000s. That's how much they're selling the. They may sell us out for their daughter keeps her job. It's not really a lot of money, but you think about the impact of it. Now here we have Sterett Hall that's shut down. But you think about this is that when one of the key issues that we had with the city was the fact that lack of a representation in city contracts. Of the $66 million in city contracts, we see less than $2 million, something like that.
Yeah.
So those are the issues that need to be brought to light, and we want to bring this to light to you about Sterett Hall because it's very important. Because our young people, they need to have recreation. If they don't have recreation, you know what they're going to do. They're going to do something. They're going to get in trouble.
They're going to get in trouble and end up on Leeds Avenue.
And we don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. Well, John, we would like to thank you for watching this video about Sterett Hall, and this is primarily for our local listeners. And please remember to share, like, and subscribe to this channel. This has been another edition of The Naked Truth.